Hello, New York Knicks fans. I just wanted to talk about the Knicks real quick and get your opinion on a couple of things. Um, I'm here rocking my Willis Reed jersey. You know, gotta represent, gotta show some love. Uh, so, let's get down into it. Um, there's a lot of rumors going on concerning the New York Knicks, especially the play of certain players, namely Julius Randle. You talk about falling off a cliff from last year, being an all star and, dominating until they got to the playoffs and ran into the Atlanta Hawks and Trey Young. But, you know, playing like nothing compared to what he was doing last year. Evan Fournier on a big contract from the Celtics. His players dropped like 12, 13 points a game. Dropped, you know. Kimba Walker, this was supposed to be his homecoming party. Uh, he's, I believe, a Bronx native. Played at UConn collegiately. So he knows in the Big East, playing against St. John's and the Big East tournament and things like that. Familiar with the Garden, with the Mecca. We got him from Charlotte, I believe. Happy to attain him, and we were like, oh wow, Kimber Walker. Maybe a year or two late, but it was still Kimber Walker. And he was supposed to be a solution to our point guard issue, because we have a real deficiency at the point guard position, and we have for a couple of seasons, even if you go back to Carmelo Anthony days, you know, and before that, we haven't had a real good point guard. I believe it was like Mark Jackson, Greg Anthony, Charlie Ward, but then after that, our point guards have been trash, really. So I'm going to get down to some of the rumors that are going around. Supposedly, the Knicks are looking to trade, or are listening to trade Julius Randle. They're listening to trade Evan Fournier. They're listening to trade Kimber Walker. Now, me personally, um, if I were upper management with the Knicks, I would make those trades. Um, I think Julius Randle is a hell of a player, but he's not a number one. I don't even think he's arguably a number two, but he's a strong number three as far as options go on the offensive end. Um, so I would look, now these trades are also going to compromise us with some of the young talent that we have acquired and some of the draft picks that we have acquired. So remember, it's not just like you're playing NBA Live and you're just, putting all these good players on the team. You're also going to lose players as well. So my thing as far as trading players, um, I would take Julius Randle. Carl Anthony Towns has won it out of Minnesota for about 2, 3 years now. And if we could get Big Cat, it will probably cost us Emmanuel quickly. Just thinking off the top of my head. But if it would mean getting the Big Cat here and giving up Julius Randle and Emmanuel quickly, but we still have Obi Toppin, I make that trade. I make that trade in a heartbeat. Because the Big Cat is going to come in. He's going to play good. Uh, he's going to play good low post defense, and he's going to stretch the floor, being able to shoot threes. And he's shooting threes at a high clip over 35%. So I make that trade, you know. The second trade I would make would be to package Kimber Walker and Evan Fournier to the Utah Jazz, and it'll probably cost us a first round pick, a future first round pick, but I would use that also and get Donovan Mitchell. Um, Donovan Mitchell, what needs to be said? And Donovan Mitchell has ties with the Knicks with Leon Rose, and supposedly he wants out of Utah. And he feels that his talents would be better suited in New York. I think they would, you know. So I wouldn't argue about that at all. Um, the third trade I would make, and I was thinking about Miles Turner, but with the foot injury, that kind of that kind of scares me a little bit. So I'm leaning against that. But the third pick I would make, and a lot of people say, why would you do that? I'm gonna explain. The third trade I would make would be Mitchell Robinson, and I would trade him. Uh, I don't know. I wouldn't give up Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin has a lot of upside, and we gave up Emmanuel quickly in another trade. So we swindled Cam Reddish from the Atlanta Hawks. Um, but I think Mitchell Robinson brings a lot to a team as far as blocking shots, rebounding. He does commit silly fouls, but I believe that the San Antonio Spurs and their organization sees a lot of potential in him. And they were interested in Mitchell Robinson last year. So I will look at Mitchell Robinson and maybe a second round pick for DeJounte Murray. And, you know, call that fantasy. But I'll be doing an NBA mock draft, after March Madness and stuff like that when things settle down. But DeJounte Murray, hypothetically, DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Big Cat. And you got to also remember, these are professionals. These are guys that love the game and they want to be in New York. Donovan Mitchell wants to be in New York. Big Cat wants to be in New York. You know, DeJounte Murray, I haven't heard anything about him wanting to be in New York, but he's a professional. He averages almost 22, 23 points a game, about 6, 7 assists. That's what you want from a point guard. And he's a big body. Not a big body, but he's a legit 6'4", about 200 pounds. You know, that's what we need. I mean, in a perfect world, I would say try to call the Oklahoma City Thunder and trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But there's no way in hell Oklahoma City's going to make a trade and trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It would be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I think the next best thing is DeJounte Murray. And I don't think we're settling. I think DeJounte Murray is a hell of a player. And you put that starting five out on the floor as the New York Knicks, you're going to win some games, man. You're going to win some games. And by making these trades, you're getting rid of big contracts that are useless. You're getting rid of Kimber Walker's contract, useless. Evan Fournier's contract, useless. Julius Randle has not lived up to the hype of last year. Useless. You know, you're taking on salary. You know, I believe Big Cat re-upped, and I think Donovan Mitchell re-upped. But the Knicks can do it. You know, Obi Toppin will still be on a rookie deal. Quentin Grimes is still on his rookie deal. McBride is still on his rookie deal. He's playing. He's playing very well. You know, and you still have Nerlens Noel, Taj Gibson, and Nerlens Noel, I believe, was fourth in blocks last year. So you can afford to trade Mitchell Robinson. You know, Mitchell Robinson is only a couple of years younger. So it's not like you can't do it. You know, and like I said, you put that starting five out there, you're gonna win some games, man. You know, you're really gonna win some games. Like I said, DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Big Cat. I don't think you'll be playing for the 10 seed bubble. You're gonna be competing in the Atlantic Division with the Brooklyn Nets, in my opinion. With that squad, you know, they're defenders. They're gonna get after it, and then you still have your role players. You know, and mind you, we still have Alec Burks. You know, so you can throw in Alex Burks with Mitchell Robinson to get DeJounte Murray if you had to. If you don't want to give up the draft capital, is what I'm saying. But if you gave up the draft capital, you still keep Alec Burks. You know, and these are trades that I feel are manageable. I don't think these are trades that are like, oh my God, you know, what is he smoking? You know, these trades are crazy. They're not going to happen. These trades could happen. These trades could happen, you know? And I really think that keeping Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, McBride, I think that's a real good thing for the Knicks. I think you can afford to let Emmanuel Quickley go. And I like Emmanuel Quickley, personally. I think he's a hell of a young player. I think he's only going to get better. He's got a nice floater. He's an excellent free throw shooter, and he defends. The only problem is we've been playing him as like more of a two guard type thing, and he's small. You know, he's actually a point guard. So him going to Minnesota would solve their rotation, because they also have D'Angelo Russell. You're not gonna move him, I don't feel, but Emmanuel Quickley also has experience playing at the two position. He's just undersized. So, but he can also spell D'Angelo Russell at the point guard position. So I think it's a win-win for Minnesota. Donovan Mitchell, he wants to come here. So why not make it happen? You know, the Knicks have been wallowing as an average team. These trades and these moves make them a legit title contender. Legit title contender. And then let's not forget the 6'11" guy that I think he's from France or something. That he's a reserve. And we still got Derrick Rose. You know, he's coming back from an ankle injury, but it's Derrick Rose. So you talk about Quentin Grimes coming off the bench, Nerlens Noel, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, you know, and then that 6'11" kid, 7 foot Samanchik, I believe his name is, or something like that. He's a developmental player, but he can shoot the three, stretches the floor. Not an intimidating shot blocker, but he has the capability to block shots. I mean, we wouldn't be in a bad position, you know, and especially that we have young players on rookie deals, which would help us as far as the salary cap and luxury tax goes. So it's not like we'll be the Brooklyn Nets where, we're strapped for cash and we're just signing dudes, to fill a roster. We can still keep our core of young talent and infuse these players that want to be here. So I think it's a great thing. Um, but it's only rumors, so we'll have to see what happens. Um, but we should know something within the next week and a half as far as what the Knicks are doing and as far as that their aggression level on what kind of players they want to be here and what they're willing to do and what they're willing to give up. Um, Dream scenario. Uh, this is like an NBA Live scenario, but the only way I would package Obi Toppin in a trade is if we were to bring Kristaps Porzingis back. Um, Porzingis hasn't meshed well with Luka Doncic the way that they thought he would, and he needs a change of scenery. Why not come back home? Why not come back to New York? You know, um, if you do make a move for Kristaps Porzingis, then you don't trade for Big Cat. You know, or you make the trade and you trade Obi Toppin, and now you have Big Cat as well as Kristaps Porzingis and Andre Barrett on your front line. That's monstrous. Monstrous. You talking about legit NBA contenders. Legit. And this is for years to come. You're talking about now a team that'll be expected out of an 82 game season, expected to win 50 to 55 games easily. Easily. Barring injury, of course. Um, so, soak that in. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below and I'll get back to you. Um, I love the comments. Some of the comments that people have left. As far as the Giants channel that I've done and that I do. So, you know, I would like to hear what you think about the trades, the recommendations for the New York Knicks and where they should go and the direction that they will go. And once again, I don't think these trades, it's not like I don't think these trades aren't feasible, you know. Um, and I feel that they're manageable. I feel that they're attainable, and we just got to go out and get them, man. We got to be aggressive. We got to be hungry, and we got to get this. We got to get this ball. We got to get this ball rolling, man. You know, I think we've only won like 23 or 24 games this season. That's horrible. We're the New York Knicks. We are the New York fucking Knicks. And we've won 23 games. And one of them was a bank shot three at the last minute against the Celtics by RJ Barrett. So you say we won 22 if that don't go in magically. We're not a good team. Players are uninspired. Supposedly, Tom Thibodeau treats players differently. Supposedly, he treats Julius Randle differently than he treats other players. But I think with the infusion of these other players coming in, he's not going to be allowed to do that. And he's going to get back to coaching defense, preaching rebounding. And that's what the Knicks need to do. And get back to being the Knicks, man. Get back to being the team of the city. The team of the city is not in fucking Brooklyn. You know, I grew up a basketball fan. I played basketball. It the the Brooklyn Nets? Are you fucking serious? These bastards was in Jersey, yo. They've been in Jersey my whole life. There's one team in New York, and it's the New York Knicks. It's not Brooklyn. I don't want to hear that shit. People walking around with black jerseys on because it's cool and, oh yeah, yeah, the Brooklyn Nets. It doesn't even fucking sound right. This is New York Nick Town. And we've been sad and sorry for too long. It's time for us to make some moves. It's time for us to be aggressive. And it's time for us to get players that are motivated because they want to be here. Players that are going to take this seriously. Yeah, they'll be marketing their own brand and personalities and stuff like that. But when it's time to get on that court, when it's time to play in the Mecca, they're going to make it happen. And you know, I'm just so sick and fed up with this Brooklyn Nets shit. You know, but and I don't mean to be cursing. I apologize for that. But I'm just the hearing this Brooklyn Nets stuff. It just it just does something to me. But think about what I said. Think about these trades, and let me know how you feel about it. And like I said, we can still keep our young core and infuse talent and talented players. DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell. We still have RJ Barrett because we're not going to trade him. Obi Toppin, if we don't trade Porzingis, but we trade Julius Randle and Emmanuel quickly to get Big Cat. It could work, people. It can work. So think about it. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear them. And I will, I say maybe in another week or so, um, do another YouTube channel on the Knicks about how they're doing. I don't think it's going to be much to talk about, but I'll be watching the games and taking it all in as usual. So, but on that note, God bless, peace, and leave your comments below. Thank you.